Hi, this is just a quick tips and tricks video about working in the 3D space. So we can access 3D by our little house up here. A good way to work is with consistent colors. So if we change the visual style to a consistent color, it gives us nice visibility. One thing that's always good to do is go through visibility graphics. So head to View, click on Visibility, and we'll grab the floors, the walls, the roofs, and we'll give them a transparency of about 60. And by doing that, we allow ourselves to see through the model. The benefit of this is I can now pick things that I otherwise wouldn't be able to pick. So by hovering on that slab that would have been hidden by the other slab, I can tap through and pick that footing. Now we can see it. So I can manipulate that footing without having to actually be visible on that particular level. So we can pick things through the building, which is a good thing to do. We can now duplicate this view, and by doing that we duplicate it with all the same settings. And now if we want to get a view just on the pit there, we can now box that by using the BX command. So if we type BX, that will give us a section just on that pit. I might expand that section a bit just to give it a bit more context. And now I can save orientation and lock that 3D view. We can turn the section box off by again using visibility. This is under annotation categories and section box. So that will keep the section box on, but turn the visibility of it off. We might turn the thin lines off as well. Now that the orientation is locked, you cannot orbit around it. So now we have that 3D view that we set up before. We're going to put that onto a sheet. So we'll go to Sheets, New Sheets, and A3. And just by dragging and dropping that onto the sheet, it'll bring it on there. The scale is a bit bad there, so what I can do is, even though it's locked, we can still change the scale. So I'll make that 1 to 50 and reposition it on the sheet. Okay, I'm going to put some dimensions on this. So to do dimensions, I've activated the view by double clicking. I'll go to Structure and set the work plane. Select Pick Plane, and I'll select this side of the slab. If we hover on each end, it'll pick up the different planes. You can also tab through to pick up each plane. I'll use the face of this foundation slab. I'll do a simple dimension by either clicking here, or it's also through the Annotate tab. Do an Align dimension. I'll grab the width of the pit so we can see by tabbing through, it'll pick up the different planes. So I'll use the far face of the block wall here and bring that down. I'll use the far face of the slab and bring that down as well. I'll put a couple of vertical dimensions as well, so by picking the base of the slab, I can take it to the base of the slab over the top of that slab. I can also drag those dimensions out to present a bit better. So now we have 3D dimensions set up on that slab. I can also do the other face. So I'll go back to a Structure tab and set a new work plane by picking a plane and doing it along that face. Now that we have it set, I can go back to Annotate and pull dimensions over the length of the pit and the length of the footing. So what I've done is made a copy of the 3D image and changed my settings so I can see it a lot clearer. If I go back to the house now, that will create a new 3D view and go back to the old settings. So what I want to do is make a view template of my copy. So if I right click on that, go to Create View Template from View, and I can turn that into a template. So I'm going to call it my 3D presentation. And I'll include everything in that. Now I can go back to the standard 3D accessible through the house. Then I can apply template properties and apply the 3D presentation view to change the settings. Now with that done, what I'm going to do is now set up a filter on this view. So I'm going to rename this view and call it QA Steelwork. Now what we might want to do with this filter is get all of the steelwork that's greater than 7 meters for transportable options. So I'm going to create the filter, click view and go to filters, create a new filter, and I'll call this Steelwork QA Length. And in here we can pick the items we want. I won't pick columns because that will pick just the architectural ones. So we want structural columns and structural framing. We can also hide unchecked categories, which will let me know what I've selected. So if I go here, and by the selected categories I've got the parameters. So we'll check by length is greater than, then here we've got all the length in meters. So I might make the cutoff around 6.5 meters. That can also be greater than or equal to. Then hit OK. Now I want to apply the filter to this view. So I need to go to visibility and then go to filters. I need to add in the filter I've created, which is the Steelwork QA Length. And anything that is greater than that, I now want to change my protection and change the way they appear. So I want to change these to solid fill, and I'm going to make them red. Now anything on that view will come through that's greater than 6.5 meters. And there we go. Now I can see at a glance what's bigger or equal to 6.5 meters. Thanks for watching.